Everything is personal right here. Everything is personal right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of Everything is Personal. And today, our guest is Desto Dubb. How you doing, man?
Awful lot of it. What's going on, people? I'm doing good. Up working in the office. You feel me? Awful lot of it.
Yeah, I definitely want to jump into all that with you. I'm curious about a thing like you build this brand and this movement and this business, and it's got this hustle kind of mentality. I was wondering where that hustle comes from in your
N-
life.
n- The hustle in my life comes from the lack of.
Mhm.
That was the very start of it. That was like the first seed, like the lack of having something that you wanted. So in order to get it, you kind of have to work a little hard, whether it's proving it to your parents to buy it or just trying to hustle up some extra money so you can buy it yourself. So the lack of was where I first got my hustle from. But then just over time looking at other hustlers and um absorbing their energy and just taking different things from them. One of the biggest mentors I had was Nipsey Hussle,
Yeah.
and his name had hustle in it. And a lot of the things I still do to this day comes from me just really copying or mimicking him.
So I was wondering, was there some sort of defining moment in your life that set you on this path?
um What path? Like, I'm a businessman. Again, like I've been on that path my whole life. I was just doing like lower level businesses. But if it was just to go into like the clothing world, yeah, probably when I went to high school, I took a sewing class and it just kind of made me actually realize that like designers and sewers and all that, they regular people just with a skill. You don't have to be some type of artist or this, that, and the other to be a designer or to have a clothing line or just to even create clothes, and I feel like in high school it showed me that.
So let's get into your origin story because I like what you said about lack and one of the things I was talking earlier about was this notion of hunger, right? When people have
Yeah.
obstacles in their life, things don't go right. You have things with your family, all kinds of different things. There's two ways to show up. One way is this victim mentality. Oh, it's because this happened in my life. This is what I blame. And other people are like, nah, man, fuck that. I'm going to show people that I can actually use that energy to achieve things and show them what I'm capable of. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Watts, California, off of like 104th and Central.
Got it. What was your, did you have, were your parents together? Do you have siblings? What was,
Yeah, I have three siblings, two sisters and a brother. Both of my parents are together. We lived in a house. We didn't rent an apartment. We had a house. I grew up in a house, and it was just crazy because in Watts, you have like the outskirts and the projects, and you always think like, oh, you're better because you don't stay in the projects. But then when you leave Watts, you like projects, and now it's all the same fucking thing.
yeah, I get it. I got to tell you something so I'm from Philly and I spent a lot of time in North Philly, but I live in LA now. So when I went to, I used to be in the dispensary business for a while. We have five dispensaries called Cushkin, and we went to, uh, to some of the areas where it was housing that was subsidized. And I was like, man, this is like paradise subsidized housing compared to the housing in North Philly. So I guess it's all relative on what you perceive and what you expect.
Yeah.
As a kid growing up, were you into sports? Were you into music? Like, what kind of kid were you?
Um. So again, very early age, I realized the lack of very, very early age from like when you were old enough to go to swimming and everybody would go swimming at the park. And after swimming, everybody had like $2 or $3 their parents gave them to get a Jack in the Box, double Jack or some fries. I never had any money.
Yeah.
It's always broke getting a water cup.
Like all never had any money. So just that very age, just kind of, oh well, now when I get off from there, I gotta go and cut some grass or try to hustle up some bread so I can be able to buy me a burger after I go swimming tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I hear you. What about school wise? Was there ever a thought like, I want to be this, or I want to, or was it just
Oh,
sort of survival mode at this
it
point?
wasn't even survival mode. It's just like you just wanted extra things. Like I played sports, but my parents wasn't paying for no shoes, no cleats, no jerseys. They didn't even have time to go up there unless they had to fill out a paper. So sports never really caught my eye because I really didn't have a support system during sports. School, I was hella smart in school. I had good grades for a very long time till like about middle school when I like started liking girls and I realized they didn't like the little bummy dudes. They wanted people with clothes. So then, I kind of switched over to just trying to have money for like summer and food, little extra stuff to like having wanting to have money to buy nicer clothes.
Yeah.
You know, so just no sports, no school, all those things. I tried them, but just without having the proper support system or at least having some type of funds, it become hard. So yeah, I wouldn't say I got into survival mode, but I did just get into a mode where I wanted to have some money in my pockets. I didn't need it. They fed us. We had a roof over our head. We can get back to school, but that wasn't enough for me.
Yeah, no, I had a really similar, I'm an immigrant. My parents came to this country with nothing, and they still gave me enough. I had food, I had the basic necessities, but when I wanted to go and get something else, I had to figure out ways to hustle. So like in Philly, I would do shoveling snow as an example. So come on, I know snow is coming. I would go over to the neighborhood houses the day before, and I would say, "Hey, it's going to snow tomorrow. Can I sign you up? Where me and my boys are going to come down, and we're gonna shovel your driveway or whatever that is." So it's that mentality that happens in you out of the things that you want to do, and then you can use that lack of to generate this hustle kind of mentality to do anything that you want to do. And I think too many people, that's why I really wanted to have this conversation, because there's so many different entrepreneurs and they think there's only one way to get to success. You got to go to school, you got to get your degree, you got to, start as an intern, all that stuff. There's other ways to do it. And that's having that hustle mentality and that hunger that you have.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't have it. I do. Until this day, I still have that lion inside the cage that's just fighting to get out. It's not going nowhere. It's just getting fatter.
So the that's an awful lot of cough syrup was a viral phrase, and you build it into like this brand empire. How'd you come up with that?
It was actually I came up with it because it was actually Pete. Want to give me a charger for my phone died? It should be one somewhere, or maybe inside my car. How did I come up with it? I was driving one day, the police pulled me over. They realized I had some bottles in the car. Always being quick on my feet. They're like, that's an awful lot of cough syrup. You must be really sick. I started laughing. I started coughing, like, yeah. And then my friend was recording at the moment, so it kind of went viral. And then I never really capitalized off of it, but then like I just put it on the shirt. And once I put it on the shirt, people were like, "Oh, I seen that before."
It's funny, man. How did it go from an idea of I'm going to put it on a shirt to an actual movement?
Me, honestly, like it went from like an idea of putting it on a shirt, which everybody have ideas of putting on shirts, but just me, my program. I'm traveling the world with artists. I'm always been a cool guy. Artists always like hanging out with me. So for some reason, so the more people I run into, the more I would give them the shirt, the more I would wear the shirt with them. I just the shirt turned into basically merchandise for knowing me and knowing being in this cool ass world.
Yeah.
So when you wear that, you're like a part of the culture that other people can't buy or get. So it's just that's the type of thing, and it's just me for me carrying it with me, me wearing it here, me giving it to all of my artists, all of the big artists. That's the image that came around just from that type of hard work.
So do you think it's sort of for people that are getting it, it's sort of an entryway or a key into getting into your culture, your environment, what you're doing, so it gives them sort of a sneak peek into that as well?
Yeah, for sure. And it's an easy way to get into it. You know, if I'm the gatekeeper in such a way, you come and support me, I'm opening the door.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of these kids just come in to support. They don't even probably know what they're doing. They just like, hey, I see the cool kids with it. I'm trying to be cool. Or I see the rappers. I'm trying to be a rapper. I see the football. I'm trying to be a football. And they wear it.
In doing that, and you obviously, already started creating a following for yourself at that point, but what were some of the biggest challenges that you face with getting this brand off the ground? And when you realized I can actually make a brand and an actual, movement from this, what were some of the challenges and pushbacks you received?
Uh, Burglary. A lot of people, when they see your shit and everybody wearing it, they start stealing. Forgery, people making fake clothes, people stealing clothes, safety. You know, it's a lot of haters out here. You know, try to, you create this image and use this image to uplift your clothes because it's like, look, this is a $250 t-shirt, but this is $1 million dude wearing it. But now they see this $1 million dude because you're promoting your brand. Now you become a so it's like the bigger the brand gets, the bigger I get, the bigger target I have on my back now. So, security and safety, I have to make enough money to be able to pay somebody an extremely amount of money every hour on the hour that my store is open. Even as security for online, I have to pay people to make sure or pay for bots and pay for programs just to make sure nobody's using fake credit cards or, stuff like that. So security is the biggest thing, and being able to afford it and still turn a profit. That's one of the hardest things ever.
It's interesting that you bring somebody that up because most, entrepreneurs don't think that this would be something that would be concerned about. We live in LA and there's a lot of people who come here to try to be famous, right? So you develop fame, and some people think that fame means that you have a lot of money as well. So you got a target on your back. And the worst is being famous without having money, because now you can't protect yourself, and people are out there looking for you. Is that just, an LA type of issue, or
I
is that
wouldn't
like a
haven't
big?
been in I haven't been to too many places, so I wouldn't really know anywhere else to like say as far as living. But I know definitely LA is one of the biggest places for that. And it sucks sometimes because sometimes you trying to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I still like there's a gap that I'm trying to build, and I know it's you. And this is really important because I think people don't know. They try to sort of replicate your business plan, right? But because it's you and it's not just some Joe off the street that's trying to do that, they're having a hard time figuring out how do you bridge clothes and make it a movement and a brand. And it has a lot to do with you and your personality and individual. But if you were going to mentor somebody else and say, okay, you want to be in the clothing business, make some shirts, go out there, hustle. But can you actually instill some of that, secret sauce that you possess and give that to somebody else as a hustle blueprint or some of that?
Well, this is the thing, bro. I can give anybody the recipe, but it's either you got the sauce or you don't. You feel me? Like I can tell you, you can read it, you can write it, you can hear somebody else tell you. Everybody can get the recipe. My recipe is the blueprint is out there. It's just, do you have the sauce? And you be like, what is that? It's like, bro, everybody can make eggs, but everybody can't make eggs. You know what I mean? So I can meet somebody and I can give them hands on the recipe, and honestly, it wouldn't even be me telling them. It's the fact that they seeing me, which is gonna make them build that hunger. Like I see somebody that's telling me what to do and he's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, this gotta work. Like even if it don't work, I'm already winning. I just gotta wait for the right, whatever right design, right. They let them know me a little bit more. I just gotta keep swinging. But if I'm getting coached by Barry Bonds, I'm gonna eventually hit a home run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I can teach a whale how to swim. I can do all that shit. But it's just how far are you gonna swim? Are you gonna give up when you run into shallow waters? When it get hard, is you gonna stop? I can't determine that, but I can for sure get anybody up and going. But it's really up to you to how much money you gonna make.
Yeah, it's funny that we're talking about that today because I was talking to my daughter who goes to Berkeley. She's an actor, and I was asking her today is what's your why? Like, why do you want to do this? Every single day, because I love what I do. I get up and I do. Nobody's asking me to do it. Nobody's telling me, yeah, I love this and I have to do this. It's a must. So if you don't have this fire and you don't have this must, then it doesn't matter. You're going to sit there and expect opportunities to fall in your lap, but you got to utilize what's around you and this desire to want to do that. That's why I was asking you earlier, what's the why? And it's sometimes we come from scarcity and we're like, I don't like that. I don't want to come from scarcity. I need to do something in my life that I'll never end up homeless or whatever it is again. And she doesn't have that because she comes from privilege. So
It
I got to
scares
figure
me
out.
so much. It scares because I have a daughter, bro. She's a princess.
Yeah,
Like I think like she came home in a Rolls Royce, like and it's just like, but the whys change over time. I could say you whatever you reason you started it is not why you're doing it right now.
for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Like the reason I started making clothes because I didn't have them. Now I got too many of these motherfuckers. At this point, I'm doing it to build a legacy. I'm doing it to keep my family in a comfortable position. I'm doing it to pay my employees. Some months I don't even make money.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to just make sure they paid and they bills are still paid and they getting paid on time.
Yeah.
You know, Another big thing about me is, I don't, cough syrup isn't even my only form of income. I get endorsements from big brands because they see what I'm doing with cough syrup and they want me to do it for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely want to jump into some of that stuff that you're working on in collaborations, which is an interesting part of it because, like, some ways, being the person that you are, you connected with certain rappers and music industry people and people who are, wearing your brand, your clothes. How do you how do you transform that into these collaborations that you're, taking advantage of now? Are they coming to you
I
or
think
you're
of it like,
seeking them?
yeah, well, it's first of all, like, all I got to do is be within 5 feet of you. You know what I mean? I told you I always been a cool guy, but just that be like you ever seen like the closer or the people they send in there to get the job done.
Yeah,
I know for a fact that if I do something with this person, I can make money, but I just don't go into it like that. I just go into it just trying to give them the most. What is the word called? Hospitality.
yeah,
Hey, you're in LA. Here goes some shirts. Here goes some socks. Here goes some za. Here, whatever. And it's just like, why are you doing this? I just fuck with you, bro. I believe in you, and I just want to say, appreciate you for wearing my shirt, or even thinking about wearing my shirt. And it goes from there to now. I like to get the person to say they want to do a collab with me.
yeah.
You
So
know,
absolutely, and I once again going to my daughter. I was telling her there's a difference between being pulled and pushing. When you're pushing something, there's friction. When you're actually going out there and doing things and you're being pulled by that, it's like swimming going downstream instead of swimming upstream. And those are the opportunities that usually create the best success stories. What's one of your like most exciting collabs that you've gotten into?
um, they are different, but most exciting would probably be. I don't know. I did one with Coil Ray. That pop up, the activation, the process, the whole everything was pretty fire. I did a collab with Young Thug. That was a pretty because you gotta understand these collaborations are basically two worlds joining. You know what I mean?
Uh,
So it's actually just me going inside of their world and taking care of the merchandise and the clothes of it. So it's like, you first start off just doing a pop up with an artist, but then after you do a pop up, they always invite you to like start helping them create their brand or helping with their merchandise, or hey, how about you do a pop-up over here? So initially I become involved in their life. So, Quavo was pretty fun. He had me everywhere he was at for like fucking like 6 months. Every time he had a opening of a store or he a restaurant, we'll be there with the clothes. Coi Leray was great because she was dropping her album. She was just meeting Nicki Minaj, hanging out with her.
Yeah.
Who else? Shit, French Montana was a nice one, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've been to some of my nicest houses in the world, just pulling up on him when we was going through our collaboration. Uh,
There, is there anybody still sort of on your dream list of collabs?
it's just so out of this world right now.
Put it
I used to.
put it out in the universe, man, because it's gonna come to you.
But I'm saying that's what I used to do. I wanted a marathon collab with Nipsey. They just, approved it. We working on designs and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great.
Maybe Supreme, just because like maybe if I do a collab with them, I won't have to stand in line anymore.
That's a good reason.
I like Denim Tears too. I would love to do something with them, but just a collab that'd probably like that I would just die for. Like a real pharmaceutical collab, a NyQuil collab. Like I would love to like have a collab with NyQuil. Maybe like an actual lean brand. Like that'd be like doing it big. Like you made it, nigga. You doing a collab with high tech.
Yeah, I love that, man. That NyQuil, that cough syrup, that would
It's
be
like it's
that would
like
be
it's
great.
like it's like it's like being Jay-Z and you watching football and sports your whole life and now you work for the NFL.
Right?
It's like what? Like no, now I'm making money with a real like they want me to just like okay, let's do it. I'm running all the NyQuil ads, merchandise.
It's already done, man. It's already done. You put it out there. What would be sort of a next expansion, new products,
Stores,
or any
stores,
surprises?
stores, bro. We gotta go stores. That's what I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Gotta get a store in Texas, a few stores in Texas, and a store in New York, a store in Miami, a store in Philly. Might even put a store on the east side. That's rich. Go get the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So what about the people that are saying like retail is dead, everything is online.
it is. You gotta keep it is dead. It dies and you fucking get reborn every fucking day. Shit, every week, every season. Shit, every 2 seasons. You just gotta stay with their ass, bro. It's like a little horse. You got niggas get kicked off, you better jump back on or just don't let go. It's gonna go in your favor, but you gotta hold on to this bitch and rock with it, bro. You can fish every day, don't mean you gonna catch fish.
Yeah, just gotta
You know?
cast the rod. Absolutely agreed. I'm interested in your mindset because I think there's a certain amount of, and I'm going to use the phrase, and you may or may not agree, but there's a certain amount of crazy to be successful in as an entrepreneur in building something from nothing. So, how do you stay motivated when things don't go according to your plan?
As of right now, bills, bro. Like that's the most motivation, bro. Like I gotta pay this shit, bro. Like think like right now we getting ready for Rolling Loud. You got mind you, it's the first of the fucking month, bro. Rolling Loud is in 15 days. So Rolling Loud is already like, 6 figures just to be there. But now the merchandise that I need to sell, I need 6 figures just to buy that. So I need about 70K just for the clothes that I'm gonna sell at the event that I'm spending about 100K to be there at.
Yeah.
All
So,
on top of the regular bills that's here right now.
yeah.
Like this shit just came very, very fast.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure to be able to, you know,
Work at
have,
high level
yeah,
outputs like this. Yeah, but high risk, high reward.
yeah, that's how it is, man. High risk, high reward. But there is some of that mindset. That's why I'm trying to kind of, and you talked about, teaching people what you do, but they still don't have your essence. And there's a certain mindset that I think that successful entrepreneurs have. That's that crazy part that they believe no matter what, and they're willing to invest and not have that fear of failure. So I know you said that comes from that scarcity, but is there, and you had Nipsey as your mentor, but is there any other sort of lesson or uh, something that somebody told you that kind of you gravitate to in terms of your personal development? Because keeping the mind sharp, so you can overcome some of these challenges that come up.
Mm. You said what is something that I do to keep my mind sharp?
Just personal development, man, because it's especially when you have that much pressure on yourself and you have bills to pay. Is there anything you do outside of that to kind of get your mind together?
Oh yeah, yeah, bro. I medicate, I work out, you know what I mean? I do music, you know, those are like some of my biggest outlets. You know what I mean?
So you do music yourself too?
Yeah, 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 I for sure do music. I make songs like every week. I record a couple of times every week. So like those are things that I look up to, bro. But it's like it don't even be that much because like you always you always pray to have like a plate. Now you got too much on your plate. I never been a complainer. You know what I mean? Like I love it, you know, and I just go by that whole thing that like you one of them people made for this.
Yeah,
You made for this. It's not I know people they buckle under an ounce of pressure. I'm under pounds of pressure every
yeah.
day. You know what I mean? And it's you yeah, I make a lot of great decisions too. You know, I got a hell of a real estate resume and shit like that, you know, but that's just always putting myself under more pressure. Like, you got all this capital, hey, let's invest in a house, but now you have a whole nother mortgage on your hand. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna run something by you, see if you how you connect to this. So I'm a big believer of ADD have been a superpower because that's what I had when I was a kid. So a lot of people all my life have told me you got to focus, just focus on this and just do that. And I'm like, that's not me. I like to do multiple things at the same time, and I can do that, but not everybody can. What are your thoughts about, having this ability as, ADD as maybe your superpower that allows you to do these multiple things at the same time?
Same thing, bro. I used to have my best friend tell me you stop doing five things, only do one. But I'm like, if I can turn the volume up a little each one, it might take longer. But when I get up there, I got five outcomes. You know, five sources of income instead of just one that got there real fast. So, I love it. I think it's a great thing if you know how to, manage it right. I feel like like I'm able to have a gang of things going, but when I smoke, it kind of like let me focus on each of those things a little bit better, or when I'm just a lot of things. Another thing I like to do as well, just be in the office by myself.
Yeah.
Like when everybody leave, I'll be here 2 or 3 hours just thinking.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't understand. You got to think about stuff a lot. Like you got to really like. If you going to college, I didn't even really go to college, but when you go to college, they tell you you're gonna spend more time studying than you do in class. You know, so when I have events, I just think about the events. When I have ideas for clothing lines or designs, I sit there and think on it and elaborate, and so I do a lot of thinking, bro.
Yeah, and I think cannabis, as you mentioned, is a big part of that. That was my medicine. That is still my medicine to go to because it allows me to be able to compartmentalize different things that are going on in my life instead of having this, overwhelming. Yeah, 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 exactly. It's that nervous thing that I can say, all right, calm. This one,
Um,
this one, this one. Exactly.
let's just
Calm.
line all these up in a row instead of everything being all over. I know I got a lot of stuff going, so this is what we're gonna do. Do that, do this, and then when we doing this, we're gonna tell them to remind us about that. Matter of fact, we're gonna just get an assistant.
That's
She
that's a
calls
way to do
three
it.
times before our FaceTime draw.
Yeah, exactly. When you're doing your thinking, are you doing any visualizing? Do you practice visualization?
It depends on what I'm thinking about. I'm not when I'm if I'm thinking about an event, yeah, I'm visualizing how the layout is gonna be, how the flow is gonna be. You know, I'm not sitting there visualizing how much money I'm gonna make or how many people gonna show up. Normally just walking myself through it, so I'm able to make sure everything is tight, every T is crossed, every I is dotted. You know, making sure we didn't leave no screw untighted. So that's what I do a lot. Or when certain situations I'm thinking about, I have like the ignorant nigga side and then I got the businessman side. So before I react, I have thoughts about both of them. Like as a man, oh yeah, I would do this, that, and the other, but as it's not gonna reflect your business, and then it's gonna take money from you. Okay, so this is how you're gonna react to this situation. Yeah. So that's most of my thinking right there.
When you were you mentioned this to me too, so I'm reflecting it back to you. When you first started, you had a definition of what success was for you. What was that definition? And has that changed or evolved from there to what you perceive success to be now?
Yes, it totally has. The first success was just selling a hoodie a day. You know, if you can just, your rent was 1,200, 1,100. If you can sell one hoodie a day, that means some days you might sell three or four.
Okay.
But if you just get that one every day, it's gonna start adding up, bro. That's about this amount. So try to sell a hoodie a day. Then it evolved into just trying to make 500 a day. Then it was 1,000 a day. You know what I mean? And then after so often, it was just like after I started paying, like now like it's just different, goals. Like when like certain stores it's just try to make this amount, this stores try to make that amount, but I don't even think about stuff like that no more. Like my goals now is just having efficient, no flaws. That's my shit, bro. Like the goals that I have in my business, it is not financial goals. It is just to run so exquisite that we can take on anything. We want everybody in place doing their jobs. From when we have photo shoots, we have everybody doing their. I want it to be like remotely. Like right now, I'm heavily involved in a lot of stuff. So my plan is like if I'm able to not be and do anything, and this shit is on autopilot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too, because when you have a business that's based on you, then it's hard to scale because everything has to go through you. And you're working 15, 16, whatever many hours a day, and then you have to control every part of the supply chain as it goes through.
Yeah.
How do you clone yourself, or how do you
Well,
get?
it's not, I don't. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a gift and it's a curse, but overall, it's a gift.
Uh,
With me, I have everybody. I'm heavily in this, so I have a person to do everything that needs to be done. I don't have to be there. I don't have to wear the clothes. I don't have to do. I could even not even have to even think of the designs anymore. So there's somebody in place for everything. The best thing about it is you see how much more accurate stuff is when I'm there, but you got to realize you can't be everywhere. So like let's say I got three stores. I know one store makes the most, the middle store don't make that much, the first store makes the least. I can spend my time at the first store, but then it's only gonna make a little bit more. So I'd rather spend my time over here at this store and have it make a whole bunch more. But I realize that hey, the real numbers of these stores are this because I'm not there, you know? So you kind of just use it to your events. Like let's say some people have to pay an artist to come to boost their sales. I just have to show up to my own store,
yeah.
and I go to the stores every weekend. But right now, I'm working at the warehouse because I feel like with the designs and stuff like that, I just I gotta put a touch to it, or the fans don't want it if it's not. They don't feel like it came from Desto Dubb. You know
That's
what I
where you're
mean?
needed most. You feel
Yeah,
that that's where, yeah.
yeah. But eventually, like I just want to be able to like just really just go travel to my stores and just really network and just create these videos and photos, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I can't clone myself. I wish I could, but you just realize you ain't gonna be able to be at all these spots. So it's gonna be always lower. Everything's gonna be like not as good. Even if you at work and it's like, okay, when I'm here, they're working 110. Well, if they working at 70 when you're not, that's your average right there. You know,
It's difficult to find good people to be able that you can trust and that'll execute on your vision. But what do you have a certain methodology to like bring
you
people
gotta
in?
go in there just trusting people. Because if you go in there not trusting people, you're gonna go fucking crazy, bro. You know, and honestly, all the bad people always end up showing themselves anyway. You know what I mean? But if you go in there just being hella like not thinking everybody's still in and not, you'll drive yourself fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So you just put people in positions that, you know, from as best as you know, ain't on no bullshit. And then if they do, it'll show. You know, you just got to trust them and give people a chance. Because I remember a lot of people didn't trust me or give me a chance. So I don't go into it like that.
What's your goal with cannabis? Is that something that you are trying
For
to?
for um, I've always been hella involved in cannabis. Even before I was making clothes and I was trying to rap, I would go to like cannabis smokeout shows. I sold weed in high school. My goal with cannabis is to make it another form of income. And it already has been. Like I probably make like, you know, dozens of thousands of dollars a year from events I go to, from brands paying me to shout out. You know, cannabis pays me a lot, but I wanted to pay me like, you know, more. And damn, cannabis already. Because would you consider the tobacco leaf is only
That's
popular
what
for
I was going
people
to ask you
rolling
about loose
cannabis?
leaf. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. That's where I was
'Cause
going.
it's like so. It's just yeah, just be more involved. Maybe start up another company. You know, like my own company.
But
You
are you
know,
interested in, having a cannabis brand like that, has THC and that's a focus, or is it more or less brand collabs that you can do
oh,
with cannabis
so
brands?
I had before I started like I had hired a business manager.
Yeah.
And first thing he told me is we got to stop with the illegals, you know. So I was heavily involved in cannabis. You know, when I was selling out the trunk of my car, I was selling more weed than I was clothes. They was coming for the weed, but then when when I gave them a shirt or they bought a shirt and they went back to wherever, they want to come back too and be like, oh shit, let me get a shirt too and then let me get some weed too. So it's like the weed to keep them coming, but I'm throwing the shirt in there on the side. You know, it's like the drink to the burger meal. Like
Yeah. Yeah, they come for the meal, but you're giving them that toy that's inside the
now
box.
they want the toys. Now the
Yeah,
toys is as
yeah.
big as the fucking meal. The meal not even around. We don't even sell burgers no more. We just selling toys.
So are you like having your own brand of cannabis? Is that something that is of interest to you?
Yeah, yeah. It's just hard. Like, bro, you know how this shit go. Everybody think they got good weed. Half of these motherfuckers don't even smoke weed. They want to argue with them. You don't want to offend them, but it's just like when I get my cannabis, it got to be weed that I'm really 1,000% happy with, you know. And it'd be hard to find that boutique weed. Everybody's going for this big weed, or they turn it in and fucking wax or whatever. You know, nobody's really trying to. Or like the weed that people want, they want to charge the high, and you can't yield a lot. You know, like biscotti, gusher, shit like that. They don't like people don't want to, and when they try to make it, it be whack.
Yeah.
So I don't. It'd be hard for me. I go to so many distros. Yeah, bro, I got the best, and I'll be like, it's a good ticket. It's this, it's smoking, but it don't make me want to keep smoking it. It don't wouldn't even make me want to spend my money on it.
Yeah, I think when the laws change a little bit, what happened was, in my estimation, we had this medical market and we had a big pursuit of quality. And then when adult use happened, at least in California, people started saying, what can I do to grow the most for the least amount of money? I can scale much quicker, and quality became secondary to me. So even ratios, like if you're doing medicinal focus like 1 to 1, it's very hard to find those 4 to 1, 1 to 1 products. But you go into a dispensary and you have a bunch of concentrates, which may be not what you want to put in your body anyway over time. So I think once the laws change a little bit, I think you'll have a lot more opportunity to have consistency of product as well, and that you can put your name to. You know,
Yeah, so that'd just be my shit, really. I really, I really be in the, I'm hella in it. All of my friends, like Young LB, one of the biggest, like, one of the youngest weed connoisseurs out here. You know what I mean? Like his name ring bells. So I'm still heavily in it, but for me to start up and have my own brand, I would have to just be with somebody who's on the same shit.
so I want to go back to your brand
Yeah.
because your brand has sort of like a voice of a generation associated with this a culture. I want to see what you think that turning around as you scale, what do you want people to remember what your impact is on fashion, on music and culture?
Um, I want people to remember, okay, how can I put this? When you see my brand, I don't want you to see cough syrup. I don't want you to see the people that's wearing it. I don't want you to see the name of it. I don't want you to see the artwork. I want you to see who it represents. Like when you see cough syrup, I don't like just close your eyes and just picture you don't have no eyes. And somebody telling you about the brand, and you ask who started it, and they start telling you about my story. That's what I want you to see. Somebody who took a negative, turned it to a positive. Somebody who was a dead, like not a deadbeat, but somebody who was like lower level, didn't have nothing going for itself, and ended up becoming like one of the head top streetwear brands in the world you know, on some of the biggest platforms. And he did it just by like grinding, no real super talent, but just being able to get what needs to get done, hard work, dedication, you know. And if I just want them to see my blueprint, and if you see that, like just close your eyes, and when you hear cough syrup, and that's what you think of when you hear cough syrup, that's what I want.
Yeah, it's like your brand is associated with you and the positive role model that you are for the hustle culture because as we said earlier, anybody can be talented, anybody can do it, but if you don't put in the work, it's not going to happen by itself. And it's interesting that you brought that up because, you know, fashion changes, styles change, all these different things, but your association with the brand can stay the same forever. The essence of the brand, right? And that's that kind of hustle mentality that I think you're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
like it's kind of when you see a Dickies outfit, button up Dickie shorts, you think of a gangster, a hoodster. When you see what was it? I just want to get when you see Yeezy Gap, when you see Yeezy Gap and somebody wearing it, you thought of preacher Kanye, you think of billions of dollars. You think of a cut and sew, but way cheaper. You know, I when you see cough syrup, I don't want you to see cough syrup. I want you to see, oh damn, this that brand that people be wearing. This that brand that people be wearing, and all of the cool kids wearing. Well, why all of the cool kids wearing it? I don't know. Well, who made it? Oh, I love his story. Now I want one. I want you to think of a moment in time. I want it to, that's how I want it to be.
Yeah. Now I want it. I want to
Yeah,
wear
you
it
know what I
too.
mean? I want you to be like, okay, you didn't have a cough syrup shirt and a tooth, like, or when you knew Dub, like that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
even if you don't wear it, you gotta have one. It's a part of history at this moment. Come on, we just had
There it is.
James Harden in that motherfucker. Come on, LeBron James just asked for a shirt. This
That's
shit is
right.
crazy, bro.
I
Out
want
of
to
a part.
congratulate you on that, man, because it's not easy for the beer to get somebody else's. He played in Philly for a while, so I know. But
Bro.
yeah, that's a
Come
big get.
on, bro. That's what I'm saying. I want you to see. I want it to inspire you. Fuck what you see. I want you to feel inspired.
Love it.
I want you to feel like if he did this with what he started with, I can do this. It's like when you see them drug movies and you be like, hold on, I need to go and get some weed and try to flip it like Boston George, or I need to because it inspires you.
Yeah.
2 hours long. At the end of that, you're inspired. You want to go and flip some bricks.
Yep.
That's what I want cough syrup to do. I want you to wear it, feel inspired. I want it to be a conversation starter. I want it to be something that's only that 70-year-olds or 22-year-olds talk to you about. No 40-year-olds gonna come, but like what do you know about that? We started that in our day. We were drinking cough syrup.
I love it, man. All right, I have a few questions that I ask my guests. One is weed related.
Yeah.
Do you remember the very first time that you got high? And if you can describe it, if you do.
Yeah, I didn't really get well. The first time I smoked, I really didn't get high at first off, but then after I started walking and went home, bro, I was knocked out. You know, because I was smoking a little joint with some of my friends in like middle school or something. But then I really was never a smoker. I think I started smoking in like my 20s or something. Yeah, he was not no. You know, like 22, 23. 20s.
All right,
My
mute.
little brother been smoking since how long you been what 16?
That's I was 13.
13?
Yep.
Hey, man, it's all right.
No, I don't think it was fully, but he was sneaking, hitting it with his homie.
Man.
While they walking to school, they stealing somebody joint.
Charlie, you could smoke in his dad's house. I was like, man, you can smoke.
Well, my parents didn't see me smoke till I was 24.
Yeah, my parents kicked me out when I was 17 for that and tried to call the cops. Not try, call the cops, have me arrested. So, which they didn't understand it was my medicine for me.
Yeah.
So,
I love how it's just so much like it's like so tested that like scientists and the government is like telling you how good it is for you.
it is.
Like, and y'all want to lock people up for this shit.
Yeah. Well, I wrote a book about it. And so I believe in it
That's hard.
100%. Music question. Do you remember, and if so, the very first concert you attended?
Do I remember the very first concert I attended? Damn, what is the first concert that I attended? Damn, bro, I think I just started going to concerts. Really, I
Well,
just started going to concerts. Probably my first concert was probably like around like some No Jumper shit, like a No Jump 2017 or something.
yeah.
Never, because I never really like. I was hustling, so I wasn't trying to go to no shows and concerts and shit. I went to games, football games, college games, and shit like that. But no, matter of fact, maybe Coachella. Yeah, Coachella. But like, yeah, I remember now. I went to Coachella when I was like fucking like 20 something, bro. We drove out there with my homies, snuck in, all type of took the wristband off. Um, I think it was another one they used to have. I don't know if it wasn't hard. I know I went to. I don't know if it wasn't Hard Rock, but it was like Payton or something or It was another festival they used to have. Not Coachella though, but they don't have it no more.
Like Lollapalooza or something?
No, not Lollapalooza. It
Yeah, I'm
was
old, so
yeah, it was one of them older ones, and they used to have like all like they'll have a legend always perform or something. They had Dipset perform before.
okay.
I went to that one.
All right. So I get another music question for you. For the next year, you can only listen to 5 albums, but you don't have to name the name of the album. It could be, a Nipsey album or something like that. What would be those 5 albums that you would listen to?
Hendrix, Future. Um,
What was the first one? You broke up for a second. Say again.
Hendrix by Future. Hendrix by Future. Um, Young Thug, Jeffrey. Um, Draco, Global Tale.
Give me some weed. I got 20.
Savage Life, Webby.
$20.
And I would probably get me Future Monster.
Okay. I like that. All right. Final question. Please describe what your room looked like growing up.
Bunk beds, floor model with a TV on top. A dresser with a mirror, a closet with a broke door.
There ain't nobody missed. There ain't nobody missed.
Yeah, that was mine.
Any artwork, any
Nah,
posters on the
nah,
walls?
nah,
None of
nah.
that stuff.
Hell no.
Yeah. So where can people engage with you? Where can people get your products, your brand, anything else that you want to share?
I feel like most easiest way is
Dubb.
Instagram, Desto Dubb, and then besides that, I have a store on Melrose, 7669 Melrose, LACA, no P.
Hey, I lied. I have another question because I'm just curious. Desto Dubb, how did you arrive at that moniker?
Yeah, when my nickname used to be double O, like two O's,
Yeah.
like double O. And I had like a friend that told me, who used to be slow, so he wouldn't say double O, he'll just call me Dub
All
or
right.
Dub O, you know. So everybody used to just start calling me Dub O or Dub. And after a while, we formed a clique called Destos, which means don't ever stop trying. You know, like we're like don't ever stop trying is what we go about, and we're the Destos. You know, so I was Desto Dubb.
Thanks for sharing that. I was curious. For my audience, thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you for all the wonderful reviews and even the not so wonderful reviews because I'm always learning to be better. Thank you for buying my book, Making Cannabis Personal, on Amazon. And brother, I really want to thank you, man. It's inspiring. Like I love this hustle mentality because we just talked about it, kids, even if you have the means, like, you and I didn't have the means growing up, but even if you have the means now with our kids, there's a certain mindset that you got to maintain hunger because your achievement is related to that. And I love the brand. I love the brand culture you're doing. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being on.
Hey, thank you for having me. I hope somebody watched this today and gets inspired. You know, one thing I always say is everybody want to be a football player, a basketball player, a rapper, you know, but if you take that same energy and time that you would spend practicing basketball or trying out or recording a song and put that time and energy into a product, I'm 1000% sure that you'll get successful way quicker than trying to get into sports.
Yeah.
You know, if you put that same energy into a product and you can live better and live longer than a lot of these athletes or entertainers, you know, I live the same life as them. I even still do music, but I make it all off of a product, you know. So I just want everybody to go out there and try to invest in a product, start a business, you know, and I feel like that'll help the world become successful. It'll help out the economy and everything.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Off a lot of it.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching and listening. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this episode, and hit that bell. Like, comment. I so appreciate that. And check me out on social under Len May or Len May DNA. Find out more on LinkedIn or lenmaycoaching.com. And remember, everything is personal.